All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. It is Friday, December 18th, 2020. And man, do we have a treat for you guys this morning. I got my man, Ryan Austin, here from Birmingham Sealcoat. Dude has become a great friend to me, like family. And man, I can't wait to tell this guy's story. There's so much to it, so much inspiration and motivation that you guys are going to get this morning. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
Good morning.
Man, it's funny. I listen to that video every morning, and it talks about the intro video, and it talks about, you look at your life, figure out what you want, figure out, if who you spend time with, if that lines up. And, man, I'm happy to have you, brother, because what I want in my life, you are a person that I surround myself with. And everything about what I want lines up with exactly how you live your life. So, man, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here, brother.
Well, I appreciate it. It's definitely an honor to be here because, it's like you get my day started every single morning. It's like if I'm in a bad mood, it's perfect. Just go right into the podcast and watch Brian Hess, and then you literally can streamline it. It's just great. I mean, you start the morning, every single morning great.
It's funny, man, because it does the same thing for me, right? And, we've had some conversations. We're going to dig into some of that about this guy starting a podcast of his own, which I think will be happening very soon, but we'll dig into that. So let's start with this, man. Let's start by just kind of digging into who you are. I know you're father, husband, family guy, business. Just give everybody a little bit of background, where you're from and who you are.
My name is Ryan. I actually own Birmingham Sealcoat with my brother, Mark. We started this company back in 2006, and we started as an asphalt seal coating and repair company. Very small, very one pickup. It was just one of those things that we had a vision to set out to do quality. And so our first business was called Austin's Quality. And we did, basically all repairs. We did some infrareding. And, we set a name out for ourselves. It was one of those things that, we came and we went to go out to do the best that we possibly could. I have my wife, I have 4 kids, and I have 4 amazing kids. I mean, my oldest is 13. I got an 11-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy. And guess what? Got a brand new one. So I'm starting over. I got a 5-month-old girl, man. And with these times, I mean, we named her Summer Hope, and that's real. This is the summer of hope, and and it's a blessing, and it's a blessing for my wife and I because it's made me get young again, and it's a great feeling. So I mean, it just is. It's one of those things that when my brother and I started this company, is we had a vision, and the vision was, he's on this right now. He's saying good morning. It's like, he's been my number one person, my fan. He's always right here. He's always helping me out. So we have 2 people. We got a field guy and then an office guy. So what better team, to bring a company together and make sure everything works, So it's just definitely a great thing. And I'm very blessed.
You got your number one fan, and then there's mine. My wife is on here too, man. She's a fan of yours, and she hasn't even met you yet, but it is, it is a pleasure, man. I got the honor of stopping by your office, last year, right?
Yep. Actually, I think it was right around February. It was mid-February.
Yep. Oh, so it was it was this year, right? Seems like
10
years ago, right? 2020 has been a long one.
Yep.
But walking into that business, I walked into there, and we were just talking about this before we jumped on live here, but walking into that office, and I always say this about any business, you can walk in, man, and you can feel the energy. And there was just a massive amount of positive energy. Just you could feel the culture within that business. And that's one of the things that I wanted to dig into this morning here is just, number one, How did you create it? Because I know we've had lots of conversations about this offline, but I know that anytime you create a magical culture like that, something that's so infectious, you got one of your guys on here this morning saying BSI for life, right? And that is not something that it gives me chills to read something like that, because you realize as a business owner how challenging that is to create, right? And how many things threaten that culture all the time, right? Especially in our business, we deal with so many different things. So I'm interested in the question that I have is, I know that there's a lot of that is created intentional, but I know from my own experience, at least, and I'm interested to hear your response on this, how much of that happened almost by accident, by just taking action on other things.
Well, you know what? Culture isn't just given. You have to work on it every single day. And the thing is it's a full time job, and you've got to be real. You got to be real with your employees. If you're not real, if you're not, we have an open door policy here, and it's one of those things that it's not like I'm going to be talking to every single person, but you know what? I listen, and I want to make sure that when they're talking to me, I listen and I hear them and I hear their concerns and I hear what's going on. And if there's problems, I want to make sure I take care of it. And last year we actually just put this in place, and and with COVID and everything now, is we put this in place, and we actually had a review. And I want people to review me. I want people to know tell me what's best for me. Tell me how I should get better. And I always say we're a team atmosphere, and that's what builds culture, is team. Together everyone achieves more. That's team. That's what you should say on a day-to-day basis. And I tell my guys, sky's the limit. If you can put in the work, you'll get there. The thing is we have to put in the work. Nothing's given to you. If you work at it and you work at it and you work at it, it's almost like it just comes. So it's one of those things that starts when you're younger, and that's what I preach to my kids every day. No matter what you do in life, you always work hard. You're going to have jobs, you're going to have classes that you hate, but you always work 100%, and you work as hard as you can. Because here's the thing, if you do that, you're going to have struggles, you're going to have problems, but you're going to get through those things. And that's why you got to constantly put in this new generation and your kids, is you got to constantly tell them that you're going to be great, but you got to work at it. You're not going to be great just sitting there. You got to work at it. And that's a really big thing. And I let my guys know that. And like I said, open door policy is, I want to know what's going on. If you have a problem, come to me, talk to me. I don't want to hear from somebody else. And that's kind of, that's that culture switching, because if somebody does have a problem, they feel like they can come and talk to me. And then that's when I know I'm doing good. And that's a really hard thing to do, but it's a full-time job, and I'm going to make it happen. And that's what I work on every single day.
What role do you think, man, that family, I see, you and your brother obviously running this company, and that takes, a special bond to be able to do, right? I've got partners as well. And, when you run that business, man, it becomes, and you guys are blood family, but it becomes family. What role do you think, your family, your family dynamic, your family values, how you were raised, what role do you think that plays in how your business functions?
Huge. My grandpa and my mom own their own business, and they work their butts off, and my grandpa was a very successful man, and he kind of raised me, and he always said, if you work hard, you'll get what you want, but you have to work hard, and there's sacrifices that you're going to have to do every single day. But guess what? You're going to work hard at it. You're going to work hard. And then when you wake up the next day, you're going to work hard again, because nothing in life is free. You have to work at it, and like I said, I keep bringing back my grandpa, is he got me out when I was younger, my brother and we worked and we worked and we worked. And I don't see a lot of that nowadays. So I want to make sure I instill that in my kids so they become successful. And I think if we did that more often, I think we'd have a shift in our generation, and they would be really, really, they can do anything. Really, with everything that's going on right now, with the podcast, with social media, with everything, you can build whatever you want. But guess what? If you don't have no ethics, if you have nothing, you're not going to build anything, because it's going to go down. The ship is going to go down. You have to make sure you do everything ethical and make sure that you are real. And I told you this earlier, is you have to be real, you know, and people can see through fakeness. And when I sit in my office with people, not one person that sits in front of me that works here will tell you that I'm not real, because maybe they might be mad. They might not like my decision, but you know what? I honor everything I do, and I will take that to the grave, you know? And so, you know, that's one thing. I was actually, you know, I think there was a podcast a year and a half ago, and I wrote the quote down. It was from Andy Frisella, and it says, I'm going to read it for you because I don't want to screw it up, but it says, I want to know that our company is not just known for beginning a great culture, or recruiting everyone, or being a great community example, or being a great people. I want our company to be known as the people who get the best results, and that what we're going to do, and that's what we're going to do. And the coolest thing is we're going to do it all together. That's our job, to help change one life at a time, you know, and that's stuck with me. And I wrote that down, and I went back in my notes, and I said, that is what people need to do, you know, and that's what generates a culture. You know, you do things for others, and then guess what? They're going to help you. And I truly believe that. I mean, if you help others become successful, man, sky's the limit. They will help you no matter what, man. And
that's an old Zig Ziglar quote, right? If you help
Yep.
enough people get what they want, you
Yep.
will always get what you want, right? Like
Yep.
it comes from that servant spot, that servant leadership spot. And you know, you see, and we've had this conversation many times, but you know, it becomes more rare, you know, as the years go on. You know, those one of the things that I say all the time is, you know, everybody's got values and principles until it's going to cost them money. And then you figure out what they really stand for, you know, and those moments in business are really what define you. Those are the ones that it's the tough times that people pay attention to. It's when those employees are sitting across from you that you get judged, right? It's those times that are difficult, man. And what decisions do you make under pressure? That is what ultimately defines you at the end of your life, because those days that are good, man, there's not a lot of memories there. There's a lot of memories through those tough times, through when the adversity is heavy, man. There's a traumatic switch that kind of flips in people's brains, and they remember those tough times, and they remember how you dealt with that, right? If you were to say, man, 3 characteristics of Birmingham's culture, like that really stick out, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 1, I don't know. What comes to mind as just a couple of words that define it?
Well, I'm going to tell you a quote real quick, and it really sticks with me. It's one of my favorite quotes. It says, when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. And I'm telling you right now, is my guys are my family, and I'd give them the shirt off my back. You know, if it helped them, I would do it. And I think they see that. So it's family, culture, and hard work, you know, and my guys work harder than anybody out there. And, you know, it's a blessing, because they put in the work, and they're going to reap the rewards. And that's the real thing. And I'll tell you right now is every person that works with us loves working with us. And that shows that they're working hard and they're doing their job, you know, and I put them in the right place, and they're hitting home runs every single time. It's kind of like, this is the example, because I do a lot of networking, and I'm a part of BNIs and the chambers and stuff like that. You got to understand is if you are helping others, they're going to help you, you know, and that's what it boils down to. I mean, it's just the same thing with our employees. I mean, you help them lift up, be successful. You know, they could start as a laborer, and then now they're running a company. A perfect example, I'll tell you right now, and this is one of my top guys, and you know Andrew, and you know, his nickname Slappy is, he started carrying buckets, you know, 11 years ago with our company. Now he's the vice president of operations. He's running this whole company, you know, and I get to sit back and watch him grow.
He's
Yes,
pretty good at it too, huh?
he makes mistakes, but guess what? We're human. We all make mistakes, you know? So it's like you have to understand is you can't put the weight of your shoulder on yourself. You have to let others do their job. Okay. And that's what makes this company what it is today, because I have my employees on here. I have Frank, Brandon, my brother's on here. There's probably several more that I can't see, but I'm telling you right now is they're on this to support me just like I support them, and we're a team. So that team is more stronger than anything you can possibly think. That's what I said. Together, everyone achieves more. Team. If you put that on, that should be everywhere. That you should put that in a little sticky note every single time. There's no I in team. There is no I in team. So if you come into a company and it's I want this, you're never going to be successful, and you won't be in here very long. You're going to get pushed out by our culture, and that's the best thing about it. I don't have to worry about it. They get pushed out.
Yeah, especially in the case of great companies. And so it's one of the things that I always say is like, you can exist the wrong way in the wrong company, right? So if you're an I person, you will find a home, man. And for a short period of time, you might even think that that's going to work. But over a long period of time, you're going to figure out that number one, you're probably in the wrong place. You're going to continue to blame the place. The quote about the flower is perfect. It's like, it's not the flower, it's the environment. And some environments fuel the wrong things, right? And so you might gain approval from people. They're just the wrong people teaching the wrong things. And so if you're an I person and you find yourself being comfortable somewhere, maybe look at the environment that you're growing in, because it won't last forever. Another question, man, and this one's kind of probably a little personal, might even be a little emotional, but I am a believer, man, that when you're a little kid, when you're growing up, that there's a couple people, that stand out in your life that saw something different in you, right? That knew you were special, that treated you different. For me, mine was my grandmother, man, and my grandfather. But to think back to those days, man, I get emotional almost in a minute because of just that love, that confidence that they had in you, that they saw something in you that was different. And it sounds like that at least one of those people was your grandfather for you. What did that mean to you as a little boy? And what does that feel like today, looking back, having accomplished quite a bit? Obviously, I'm sure you're going to say, man, I feel like I got so much further to go. But knowing that you accomplished so much, I know for me, man, I think every once in a while, I think like, man, I think I'm making them proud, right? And I think I'm doing the right thing. So how does that relate to you, that statement that I just made? Like, what does that mean to you? And then how does that affect you today?
As soon as it came out of your mouth, it was like tearing me up, because here's the thing, is my grandparents pretty much raised me. Okay. My grandmother and grandfather. In 2007, I had a daughter, Abby, which is 13, and they both passed away. A little emotional, but they both passed away in a car accident together. And give me a second. And every day I wish he could see.
He does, brother. He does.
But
for sure.
You know what? I work hard because of him.
Yep.
And my mom. But because my mom was a single mother raising me, and she did a hell of a job. But my grandmother raised me the best way they possibly could.
Yep.
And that tears me up, because I love them to death.
Yeah. Brother, let me tell you something, man. I'm going to tell you this. As a friend, not only are you doing the same for your children, but you're doing the same for hundreds of children through the people that you are parenting and leading in your company. And you should be incredibly proud of what you have done and who you are. And brother, let me tell you something, man. I feel the same way, dude. I could go back. The same tears turn on for me, man, because it's those people in your life. And so I say that because I want everybody watching and listening to realize this, that if you are that person, and I want to say this to you, you are that person. You are your grandparents for lots of people. And you need to realize that, and you need to make sure every day you remind yourself of that, because those people will never forget you. So when you are that person for people in their lives, they will never ever forget you. You are that special, right? Everybody that I asked this question to, there's never more than 5 people in their life that saw them that way, right? That understood. They knew for sure that there was something different. You saw the video. We were texting last night about my little guy. He's 3 years old, right? And I know for sure, man, there was something unique in that little guy. I knew it, man, from the time he was a year and change. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is yet or what he's going to do, but man, I know for sure that he's going to do something special in this world, and that he's going to change a lot of lives because he has it in him, right?
Yeah.
They see that. And so I just want you to know, man, that you mean a lot to a lot of people, including myself, and that example that was passed on to you, man, you should be extremely proud of yourself for how you're passing it along to others. And that is just an unbelievable gift to be able to give people. And that allows those that pass on before us to live on, right? And that is, it's funny because the first thing I'm sitting here thinking is, now I understand the Birmingham way. I understand it. It means more to me now, knowing that story, than it ever did before, right? And it is that is where family comes from. That experience in your life, how you were raised, everything is about how you created that culture and why it means so much, why it's passionate, why you feel the way that you feel right in this moment, right? And that is, man, it is a gift. And thank you for sharing that, man.
Well, I appreciate it, man. It's like, it's one of those things that this right here is how I feel about my employees. I love them, and some go, some come, but no matter what, if they worked here, we have a great relationship if they leave on good terms, and then one of those things is I still talk to a couple people. I mean, there's a couple people, Matt Varespi, Chase Kabika, that started back when we were younger carrying buckets. Dude, they come up to me and say they had so much fun working here. And now one's a lawyer at a huge law firm. One's a very successful salesperson that makes really good money doing sales. It's like, it's one of those things that you look back and these guys call you up and say, you know what? I worked my butt off here and you guys showed me how to be a man. And,
right.
And one other person that really stuck out is my high school football coach. And I'm going to tell you this, is he really instilled to be a man. And his name was Bud Raleigh. He's from Oxford, and he's a legend here. And I'm telling you, he always made sure that you became a man. He always called me a lawyer because he always told me, it was so funny because he'd always tell me, he's like, Ryan, you're always trying to find a better way. Why are you always trying to find a better way? Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. And that sticks with me every single day, because every time I see him, he's walking around Oxford. I'm always throwing up my hand. Yeah. And he's got that impact on this community. So it's like, I want to be that person that impacts as many people as I can. And you know what? It's one person at a time. That's all it takes. One person. You work on one person, then you work to the next person, you work on the next person. It's hard work, but you know what? You're creating lives for other people, very good lives, and that's what I want to do in this company. And if it's one employee or if it's 100, I want to make sure that their lives are great and they come to work every single day and they love what they do and they enjoy it. If they do that, you know what? This isn't even work. It's fun. I come to work every single day and people are like, why do you get up so early? Why do you come to work? Why do you do this? It's because I love it. It's like, it's not a job to me. I got into this business because I love it, and that's the best thing. And that's real, and people see that because it's just, it's a blessing, and I'm very blessed.
Number one, brother, I will tell you, you already are that person. the challenge that you have for the rest of your life is how many can you touch, right? And the number two thing I would say is, I was just saying this to somebody yesterday, and I'm sure you've probably had people, say similar things to you, but there have been times where I've had friends or friends of friends, people in our life, that are close to us say like, man, when do you stop and smell the roses? You're doing this or you're doing that. When do you stop and smell the roses? And I think it's important. And I'll wait for your response. But for me, this is the roses. Like this is part of the roses for me. The passion of changing lives, the passion of building a business, the passion of my family. God comes first. My family always comes first. After that, man, there is nothing in this world that I am more passionate about than doing exactly what we're talking about. Telling these stories, allowing people to see your story, impacting the lives of the people that we both work with. Do you feel the same way? Is this the roses for you?
This is the rose, dude. I've been having the roses for a long time, man. I've been smelling them. I've been, basking in them. It's just, I want to touch every single petal, and that's the real truth. And my mom's on here right now. So, love you, Mom.
Awesome, man. So awesome. I got one final question for you, man. And I'm pulling them out of the woodwork today. I'm asking you some tough ones. So,
Yeah.
but it's good. It's good stuff. We like to be real, right? We like to provide people with perspective, and there is no question that we've provided a lot of perspective this morning. That's for sure. Out of all the things in your life, man, I know that, faith is important to you. And, I wanted to ask you kind of where that came from in your life. Cause I get that question a lot from people that I feel like, maybe aren't on that journey yet, or don't have that piece of their life. And then what role does that play in your day-to-day family, business, everything?
Dude, it's in here, man. I literally, I pray every single day, man. And it's always a quiet prayer. It's always one of those things that it's the first thing I do in the morning. And it's the last thing I do when I go to bed, because it's like one of those things that when you're little, you're like sitting in your bed and you're saying, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Those are things that are real. You tell your kids to do that, and it's real. My kids want to go to church. They want to go to church. And with these times, man, it's been tough, but you just got to pray every single day, and you got to pray for other people. Because I've been praying a lot for my buddy Dusty. He's battling some cancer, and he's really fighting it, man. He's really the whole thing with God, man. He is just praying and praying and praying, and it's coming to light, man. He is just a whole nother person, and it's just a great thing to watch, and and you have to put that in your life every single day. And if you don't, it's you don't feel as full, and I'm telling you right now, I have to do it. And most of the time I'm praying for other people, because, like I said, you help others, and then in turn helps you, and I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed, man. And I'm blessed for you to actually, take the time with me today and be a great friend now. And, we're doing some work together, and it's coming all together for us, man. And I love it. And we're going to climb up that mountain together, and it's one of those things we're going to take everybody with us. And I believe it, and in this industry, we have to lift everybody up, and we have to help people become successful. And we can do that like you're doing. Nobody's going to stop us, and that's real right there. So,
With that said, one more question then.
Oh,
we need more impact. When does the podcast start?
I'm looking at starting probably mid-January. I've got my studio being built right now, so in my basement, and it's one of those things that's going to be my passion. And I'm probably going to do about 20 to 30 episodes, but who knows? I'll probably be doing 100 or 150. Who knows? But it's going to be for people, helping people. I don't want to promote my business. I want to help others. Because here's the thing: is if you can impact one life at a time, like we said, that's all that matters, and that's what the podcast is going to be like. We're going to impact people. We're going to climb up this mountain together, and I'm going to hold people and I'm going to bring them up with me. And that's the God's honest truth, is I want to help others. And that's what this podcast is going to be about. So it's going to be, a lot of interviewing and stuff like this, but you know what? It's going to help and impact a lot of people, and I'm very excited for it. So
me too, brother. Me too. I'll be the biggest fan, the first downloader for sure. I'm excited, man. Just so you guys know, behind the scenes, I'm leading on this guy all the time, right? He's out on job sites doing live videos. I'm like, you need to do more, man. You need to do more. You got to lean into it, dude. It's supposed to be uncomfortable, right? It is not something easy to do. There are still days before, I'm 250 something episodes into this thing, right? With tons of other live videos and all that kind of stuff. And there's still mornings, man, where I'm like, man, am I going to get this right? Am I going to, say something that I don't want to say, or say something that sounds silly, whatever it is. But you were put here, man, to impact lives. You're already doing that. It is an honor and a privilege to watch your journey, to be part of that, to be your friend, to be able to call you a friend, man. And you make people's lives more full, brother. And we were talking about that before we got on the show here.
Yeah.
The results and success that you achieve in life, man, money is such a small part of that. Whatever financial gain you can create in your life. Not that that's not important. I don't ever want to say, finances make bigger things be able to happen, but the reality is it will never make you feel full. What makes you feel full are the things that we talked about today, right? Family, faith, impacting people, great culture, being surrounded by the right people that like I know for sure, man, if I called you and I said, man, I need some help, like there's a 0% chance that you're going to say no. It doesn't matter what it is. And when you get that, and I say this all the time, but it is such a gift, man, that it is indescribable. When you have that in your life, you have that with your employees, you have that with your friends, you have that with the people that you choose to surround yourself with. It literally makes you feel unstoppable, and it gives you a life that, man, the cup just runneth over every day.
Yeah.
And that is, it's what I see in your life, man. It's how I feel every day. And man, it is just such a blessing. So I thank you for being here, man. I thank you for sharing everything that you shared. Just incredible, dude. And I will say, your mom said it, but your grandma and grandpa are, without a doubt, brother, extremely, extremely proud of you. And that is only going to multiply as your life continues. Man, I can't wait to see what's ahead, brother, because the number of lives that you are going to change is going to be amazing. And that is, I believe that's why God puts us here, is to impact other people and, to do for others, to serve people. And you are an impeccable example of that, man. So thank you for being here.
I appreciate that, bud. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me. And, everybody have a blessed day, and you go out there and be your best and be real. And that's the advice I have. Be real.
No question, man. You know how we finish Fridays, man. You don't you dare go out like a mouse today. People want to check out at noon. They want to take it easy in the afternoon. They want to get to happy hour. That's called going out like a mouse. Man, when you go hard to the whistle, you put in the extra hours. Those hours multiply. And I could do the equation for you. I do it for our team all the time. Talk about those hours you gain. 1-2 hours a day, man, multiply it over a year and figure out how many weeks ahead you are of everybody else. So go out like a lion today. Do not go out like a mouse. Brother, thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody that was watching. We had a ton of people on here this morning watching. I appreciate the support. I appreciate all of you guys being here. And Ryan, thank you, man, for everything. I will see you guys again Monday morning, same place, same time, 7:30 a.m. right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.